Hi, I'm Julie Fei Fan Balzer, your host, and our first project is entitled Who I Am Becoming. So you can see here that what I've done is done a very large doodled and drawn little centerpiece, which is also my title. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some black cardstock, and I'm just going to cut it to the same size as my photos, which is 3 by 4. So it's really easy to line up. I'm just going to cut and turn it around to cut on the side that's for 4, right back down there. And now I have my little journaling card. Now, these are pens that draw really well on dark paper. So I'm going to try to do this upside down, but we'll see how that goes. It might not be a great moment. So I'm going to start with the big word who. Ooh, sometimes you need to, there you go, just get it started. Now, why am I starting with who instead of somewhere else in the word or in the phrase? And the reason is because that's my biggest text, and I want to make sure that it's right in the middle of my card. How's my upside down drawing going? By the way, if you're nervous about doing something like this flat out, one of the things that you can do that makes it easier is you can take a pencil and you can lightly draw. It will show up on the black cardstock. And so what you're going to do is then you can erase it once you're done, and then you'll easily have the outlines of your letters. Okay, so there's my first layer in, and I'm going to go ahead and do the doodling in there. So now doodling is one of those things. There's no rules, there's no right, there's no wrong. It's just about you having fun. So I'm going to continue to go around just drawing these totally imperfect circles, having a good time. I really like this orange and green combination, very Halloween-y, don't you think? So let's just finish up this one little W. And this is one of the things that I like to do when I'm waiting virtually anywhere. This goes straight into your purse, no problem. And you can pull it out in the doctor's office, in the car, and you're waiting in the, pickup line. And I'm just coloring in. A lot of times with doodling, one of the things that makes it look so good is using lots of colors and lots of layering. So that is what I'm trying out here, is I'm just continually adding color and layering. I want to show you the beginning of the phrase. So I'm going to turn this around to face me because it's just a little bit easier for me to write right side up. And I'm going to do in my natural handwriting, I think. Now, you may hate your handwriting. I think this is a totally normal thing. Most people do hate their handwriting, but I want to show you how to improve it. So you can see I've just written out, I think. Now, to improve it, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to fatten up certain areas, and you'll be amazed at how the fattening process really makes these letters pop and look really dramatic and great. Sometimes I think when you don't like what you've done, it's just because you haven't taken the time to really go after it in a detailed way. So you can see how I've just fattened up those letters, and I can continue that with the whole phrase. Now I'm going to do the same thing this time, but with my regular printing, okay? And I'm just going to go right here, I am, and again, with my regular printing, I'm just fattening that up. And then to do the doodles at the top and the bottom, again, I'm totally zen, I'm totally easy about this. I'm just going to do some easy little up and down, imperfect lines. It doesn't matter if they meet or not. And then the little detail that I think adds so much to it is we're just going to put a line straight down the middle. And when I'm done, it's going to look a little something like this card right here. So now what I want to do is I want to cut out this little journaling spot that you can see here on the layout. So I'm going to go to my pattern paper, and I'm going to pull out, here we go, this is the pattern paper that I want. And you can see there's my little journaling card. But I'm going to show you a really cool way to cut it out. So what I'm going to do is I pull this plastic sheet just off this mat, which is sticky. That just protects the sticky mat. And I'm going to place my pattern paper right down onto it. I'm going to open the dust cover, and I'm simply going to load the mat into the machine. And then I'm going to choose the scan option, and I'm going to direct cut. And I'm going to say start. And what that's doing is that is going to scan in that paper for me so that the machine knows exactly where to cut. So while I'm waiting for this, I often do other things. So for instance, you can see on the layout, There are some little leaves which I've cut out using scissors, along with the scallop that's there too. I've also just hand cut that out with a pair of scissors. So once this is recognized, I'm simply going to hit OK. And then I'm going to choose the part that I want to cut out, because there's no reason to cut out the whole piece of paper, is there? And I'm just going to select that down, and I want to get as close as possible. And if you're not sure, you can use the little plus symbol to see if you're getting the cut that you want, and then you can adjust it accordingly. And then once you're ready to cut, simply hit OK. And then I want to make sure that my blade's at the right height. 4 is about right for this paper, so I'm going to hit cut. I'm going to start it. And that is just going to cut that right out. It's going to be a nice clean cut, exactly what I wanted. Now you can also decide whether you want the cut to be far away from the image or close. You can set the margin for whatever you'd like. And you'll see that very quickly this is going to take care of cutting that out, and I can spend my time doing things that are a lot more fun. So I'm going to take this right out of the machine, put it down, and boom. Ooh, can you see how that cut it out perfectly? Right around there, even that tiny little feather on that bird tail. So I'm going to go back now, and I'm ready to assemble my page. So I'm going to start with some white cardstock, and I have my photos, which are cut to the exact same size as my journaling card, right there. And I have my scallop, which I've hand cut with some scissors right here. And if I want to make it the same length as my photos, then I'm just going to go ahead and clip it right there, nice and easy. I can take my journaling spot, which I put in a typewriter, and then I add my little leaves, which I hand cut out of a piece of pattern paper. You can see here, you've got tons and tons of leaves to choose from, and you just cut those out and add a little bit of hand stitching, and your layout looks something like this. And I just want to show you that there's lots of ways of doing all sorts of hand lettering on your layouts, like you can see right here. And the idea of taking little cards, that's what you can see on this layout here.